Welcome to Mind Over Matter, where we feature young Jamaicans who are shooting for the stars. I'm your host, Margaret Boyne. My guest is TYESHA Mattis. You had suffered a major injury in 2018. Tell us what happened.
So basically what has happened is after I came back a little bit too early from the second injury, the second operation, I injured the inside of my foot, and having two operations in the space of 18 months is a bit too dangerous to have another surgery. And he said long term this could affect me walking, and he said you'll be better off to heal naturally than have a third operation. So I basically took it upon myself to just take a step back from everything, and that's when I made the decision to stop doing gymnastics. So yeah, it was really difficult to deal with.
Yes, because I mean you were at your peak at this time. So
Correct.
what did you do during that break, and how did you handle that emotional turmoil, if you want to call it that?
Well, I did spend a lot of time with my family, just having that support where I was really upset, and I just needed to get in the flow of having a new lifestyle. That was the hardest part for me, really, because gymnastics was my lifestyle. So I started going out more with friends and socializing and hanging out after school and things that I never used to do. So it was nice to get that experience. I definitely enjoyed it probably too much and got carried away. But yeah, I had to go through that phase to grow up as well and mature. But yeah, it was just a shame that the injury did take a big impact into my career at the time.
So what made you make this decision now to come back for a comeback? Because a comeback would require a lot of work. I mean, you have been out for a while.
I know. Do you know what it was for me is, even though I had the 4 years out, I was in between those 4 years popping up in the gym now and then, seeing what I could do, just trying to keep gymnastics still a part of me here and there as I could, but never was I thinking about going back to competition or going back to train for something. It was mainly just for a bit of fun and enjoyment, and I didn't realize that when I was going in 6 months, having off 6 months, going in 6 months, every time I went back 6 months later, I could do everything. And I said, this is strange. I haven't lost anything.
Yes.
My mum was very upset with me because she said, you have raw talent and you're just sitting on it. You're not using your talent, TYESHA. You're just letting it go to waste. And I never understood what she meant because I never wanted to do anything with gymnastics. I didn't have the fight that I used to have in me. And my mummy spoke to me and she said, you do have an option where you can go down this route for Jamaica and you will be shown your worth, TYESHA. They would appreciate you and support you on this journey, and they won't hold you back. And it took a lot of convincing because I've had so much time away. It is really scary to take that leap. And I said, I need to mentally prepare myself first and build my own self up first, and then I can take the risk of bringing my mum in, bringing a coach in, bringing the team back in again to support me on this journey, because that's one thing that I didn't want to do, was bring people in and waste anybody's time. So I did my best to have self-motivation, because that's what I had lost completely. I had no confidence in myself, and I didn't believe that I was good. I didn't believe that I could be the best. And yeah, eventually I worked hard and I built that back, and I got my mom, I got my mom in the gym with me, and she helped me build that confidence to be able to say, right, we're going to do this for Jamaica. Let's show them what we're made of. And I sent a couple of videos out, and I've been working really hard in the fitness gym as well as gymnastics gym to build my muscles up so I can feel stronger when I am doing my routines. I've built up all that stamina, and yeah.
What have been the biggest challenges that you have faced during training for a comeback?
Building up my stamina. It was a bit challenging. Also, I wouldn't say connecting things, but getting back to where I was before to feel confident and really strong and powerful in my gymnastics. I think that was probably the hardest part for me, because even though I took a lot of time out, there is also that fear because I haven't done the skill in a while. So sometimes, even though I have quite good muscle memory, I do feel scared that maybe my body won't remember the skill. Maybe I freak out in the air. I do get those fear factors, but once again, I have to meditate myself and trust my body and know that I can do it because I've done it before. So it's again that self-belief that I was losing and I was missing, which I was so happy I managed to find again. And once I started trusting in my body, everything happened very naturally for me, and it wasn't much of a struggle at all.
So what has been the reaction though from, persons who see you trying to come back in the sport? That been encouraging, or persons saying, boy,
Yeah, I'll be honest. A lot of people have been taken back by this, and everyone saw how talented I was growing up and thought, why did I stop in the first place? But not a lot of people know the story and the history that I had gone through to get to this point now. So it's nice that I'm actually being able to share it with everybody on your platform.
Yes,
Margaret.
yeah, man. And so what has been that experience now with Jamaica? You're representing Jamaica. What has that experience been like so far?
It's been amazing. Every moment has been joyful. I've been extremely happy. Half the time I cannot stop smiling because I'm just so excited. I'm so happy. The team that they have here is so wonderful and welcoming. Even the gymnasts make me feel so happy because they come over. When they come in, they haven't even got changed yet. They've got their bags on and they say, "Good afternoon, TYESHA." That makes me feel warm inside, that everyone can be so open and welcoming like that. Because over there where I used to train in GB, it was more of a tension vibe, and you could see the competition in the room. You could just feel it. Whereas over here, everyone just wants you to do really well. Everyone supports everybody, and that's how it should be. Honestly. So I'm just grateful that I was able to participate in all of this and have the opportunity to meet the team and be a part of it and do my country proud.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that, man. You've made your debut with the team at the Pan Am Championships in Brazil last year. So tell me now, tell us about that feeling when you put on the Jamaican gears for the first time, you step out representing Jamaica.
Well, I hadn't competed in 4 years internationally. So already I was very nervous because I hadn't been out there in the big crowd, the arena. I actually broke down into tears because I was so overwhelmed with the whole situation, being on the team for Jamaica and then having to compete internationally again. I honestly did not see myself being out there on the floor again. And it was like a dream come true all over again. And it just felt like this is where I should be in life. This is who I am as a person. And it just felt normal to me to be there. And I felt like I deserved to be there. So I just wanted to do myself proud, my mum proud, and Jamaica proud. So yeah.
How was your performance at that games?
I did, to be honest, for the first competition back under the circumstances, I did really well. I did make a couple mistakes. I didn't fall on anything. So thank God for that. I did a really good floor routine. It was my first time putting out my new floor routine. So I was really happy with that. My bars weren't the bars I was supposed to compete. I should have done 2 releases and catches. I didn't go for the second release. I did my catch over the bar. And then I went to go for my ginger and I didn't let go of the bar because I caught really close from the first release that I didn't get a big swing that I needed to do the ginger. So I just did upstart handstand, blind half, front giant, double front off the bar. No one knew I had missed the skill.
Okay.
Other people might have stopped, which then you get a whole mark taken off your routine. Some people would have then got back up and then did the ginger individually, and I would have lost more marks stopping and then repeating a skill that I never do singly. I would have been more scared to do the skill on its own when I'm used to connecting it with another skill. So I just quickly worked out of it, did the routine, and my coach is my professional national coach didn't even notice that I missed the skill. So I covered it really well. And then it wasn't until after the competition I explained to her I did miss a skill in my bar. So I think because I did it so quick, the judges, I don't even know if the judges noticed that I missed the
Noticed,
skill.
yes.
Yeah, so because they saw it in warm up, but they didn't realize in the routine I didn't do it. So yeah, I was a blessing in disguise, and I did my vault really nice, and I landed it. So I was just very over the moon to go out there after 4 years and be clean, have a clean competition with no falls. So yeah, I was very proud of myself.
Okay.
And I was in Brazil. I was just loving it.
Yeah.
I was loving it. I'd never been in Brazil.
And you also you qualified for the World Championships, but you weren't able to go because of funding?
Correct. Around the time of me starting this journey, for Pan Am Games, I managed to get a sponsorship, and he was able to help us fund the traveling and everything and the flights. However, when we came back from Brazil, he actually lost his mum, and he wasn't there for us at the time of really desperation need, and it was understandable because he was going through a lot, and we didn't have anyone else to reach out to, and at the time Jamaica wasn't funding me financially in that way, and I didn't have funding. I still don't have any funding or sponsorship, so it is a thing where I'm just reaching out to people and trying to find where I can get help, because it is very difficult to pay for all these travels and stay in these fancy hotels, which we wouldn't normally stay in if it was our choice to travel around the UK. We would pick a nice, cheap, and cheerful one, still go to the competition and get what we need done. But it was pretty much out of our reach, and I had no other options.
And this must have been very strange for you, because I mean, you're used to on GB team, money galore, this must have been very hard for you to go through.
Yeah, it's a completely different experience to what I'm used to when it comes to the funding side of things. And it is devastating because I just kept thinking, does this mean I'm going to lose out on a lot more competitions due to funding or due to not having enough money to provide for the team? It is just something that I've have to accept right now in the current situation I'm in, and all I can do is keep looking onwards and upwards and praying that there will be light at the end of the tunnel and I'll be able to get out of this. Because if I just stop now, then I would never know, I would never know.
But I'm sure the corporate Jamaica will come on board, and especially when they see how well you've been performing. So I expect that will,
I pray and I
yes.
hope that I can get the funding and support that I need from the Jamaican Association, because it will help me perform and pursue the career I need, especially building up to Olympics. I can't really afford to miss any competitions. I can't afford to lose my spot on the team due to funding, because I wanted that opportunity to take Jamaica to the Olympics and go to the World Championships this year. I was very much grateful that I was the only one individually qualified for the World Championships after the Pan Am. I didn't expect anything like that. So the fact that I actually did that with routines that were basic for me, I haven't even done my really big routines yet. These are my basic ones. So I was very much like, wow, imagine when I do get the chance to have another year of training and put out the skills and routines that I really want to. I feel like I can have a chance at medaling. I honestly do believe I have the opportunity to even bring home a medal for Jamaica. So that would be a miracle for me. Come true.
Yes, I'm sure that will happen, though. I'm sure about that.
Touch wood.
What is your favorite skill?
My favorite skill. I do like doing my flick layout on beam. So it's one of the first skills I do on the beam, not the mount on. I do like the mount on where I flick back and I grab the beam. So it's blind. The beam's behind me and I go back and I flick and I grab it. and I hold it. I'm hanging upside down on the beam. So I do like that skill. And I also like my flick layout on the beam, which is my acro series.
Okay. Your sister also represent Jamaica in gymnastics as well. So tell me a little
Yes,
about your
China.
sister.
So China, she is currently 17 years old. She is pretty much the mini me, times 10. She's got she's got everything I've got. She's got the raw talent, she's got the personality. I feel like she just needs to believe in herself a little bit more. I think where you come from, different clubs, and you go through the puberty stage, she's at that age where she has to fight really strong not to be tempted to go down the road her other friends are going down. She has a career in front of her. And I'm just grateful that she has me to look up to as a role model. And we train together now, which is really nice, because before we was always at separate clubs. Because
okay.
I think because we are very competitive, I felt like China felt like I was dimming her light a little bit. And she felt like she could get more attention and more coaching when she was number one in her club. So I was number one in my club and she wanted to be number one in her club. So when we're together, she's always going to be second to me. And I think that knocked her down just a little bit. Like, we have got a 7-year gap, but she thinks she's a year younger than me. So I had to just keep reminding her she has time. She has time. And I'm grateful that I've got a little sister to be on the journey with me. It's a blessing, honestly.
So it's really a family thing then. Your mother,
Yes.
you, your sister.
I also have a big sister. Her name's Shaniqua Mattis, but she did gymnastics with me when I was very, very young. When I first started at 3, and then when she turned 5, she stopped gymnastics because it wasn't really for her. But I'm just really glad that she supported us this whole journey, and she finally found her way, and she's a firefighter for the London Fire Brigade. So I'm very proud to look up on my sister and see she's out there saving lives and putting out fires, and I'm proud of her.
How do you feel though about, there have been some recent discussions and allegations from Simone Biles and also the Great Britain team that, gymnastics is a sport that, has perpetuated physical and emotional abuse in athletes. What do you think can be done to prevent incidents, like those happening?
I think it's to do with the gymnasts, and the coaches have a big part in this. I think the coaching styles that were being coached from, let's say, the 1980s to 2020, there's a big shift in the style of coaching. And I think a lot of coaches have been stuck in their old ways, and it's now 2023. And the way that you used to coach, you can't coach like that no more. And I think if it wasn't for the gymnasts to speak up on certain experiences that they were going through, this would have never got dealt with. And I'm just grateful that certain gymnasts from GB, from America, they had the opportunity to speak out and have their voices heard from the experiences that they did experience. And I'm just glad that it's being dealt with now, and a lot more gymnasts can have a happier gymnastics career without being scared or fearful to speak up.
What advice do you have to leave for our young gymnasts here in Jamaica?
My message to all the gymnasts in Jamaica is to be very confident. Don't be afraid to try your best, and always tell your coach the honest truth of how you're feeling about a gymnastic skill, or how you're generally feeling in training. And always speak up if you're having pain or an injury, and don't overwork yourself, and always try and build a bond with your coach. It's very important.
You're here for the national trials. How did you perform? That was yesterday.
It was yesterday. I did very, very well. I was very shocked. I did expect to do well, but I was shocked. It was very hard to soak it all in, because I've just been on this long journey and I haven't had a medal around my neck in such a long time. So it meant a lot to me to walk home with 4 gold medals. I won the bars, the beam, the floor, and the vault. and I was all around champion with all my scores put together. So I got a trophy to say I was the senior 2023 champion for Jamaica. Amazing, absolutely like speechless. When it happened, I couldn't believe it had happened. Honestly, I was just over the moon.
Yes.
I couldn't stop smiling like now.
Yes. So your ultimate goal, TYESHA, is to be at the Olympics.
100%. The Olympics, and go further than that. I want to help Jamaica. I want to come out here more and more. After I get to the Olympics, praying. After I do that, my goal is to hopefully help all these girls train up and be the best that they can possibly be, because I have a coaching qualification. So I want to go on to my level 2 gymnastics qualification, and hopefully I can come out here and help coach the girls and build them up and be there with them shining.
Yeah, that would be great, man. So I want to thank you though, TYESHA, for representing Jamaica, you know,
No
flying our
problem.
flag high. And I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you, Margaret.
And I hope to see you at the Olympics. And I need to say, corporate Jamaica, please come on board, support the gymnastic team.
Please.
They're ready and rearing to go. And it was great talking to you, TYESHA.
Thank you. It was great talking to you too. It was nice meeting you. Thank you for having me.